Greetings everyone and welcome back to another Shoutcast, and I'm your host Risty, and today we're going to look at Reason Gaming and Armata. Now I think it's Armata and not Armata. Well, it pretty much sounds the same thing no matter which way I kind of look at it. So if we kind of look at it at the minute, I've only got 4 people loaded in on the left hand side, so there we go, there's the 5th one. So for Reason Gaming we've got Percy, Snoopy Man, and you know what? I don't do names. You know I don't do names because I can't pronounce nothing for crap. So they got Sobek, on her, Ymir, Fenrir, and Isis. So they got a good fast jungler. Obviously, 2 of probably the better tanks in the game as of yet. Obviously, you've got Sobek, just obviously brilliant to pluck in, and Ymir there that's just Digimon Mir that stops everything as happening. Also, early game on, we've got on her out with the pin Desert Fury combo in lane is quite deadly for anyone to kind of go up against, especially if he manages to pick off the enemy's jungler, which is Hun Bat. So if he manages to kind of pin him up against the wall when he comes for him or anything like that, it's going to work really well. And also Isis with that 2 stun, that AoE stun that comes out, it's just wow, it's just crazy. So I feel the Reason Gaming have kind of got a good pick here. But then again, let's have a look at a bit of action kind of going off here. If they put any wards down, I haven't quite seen any wards go down just yet. Everyone's just kind of looking around. So let's have a look for Armata. They've got Hebo, Humbat, Guan Yu, Neef, and Bacchus. So Bacchus has gone down a little downhill lately since the only thing they nerfed was his leap speed. Obviously that was just so fast. Now they have put down a ward here. I suppose that's more just to cover middle. Obviously it covers this whole entrance here and protects mid from obviously the left hand side of the lane. So we're going to see everyone kind of get their blues and everything kind of move on. We can also see it's kind of like Guan Yu's more of like a bruisery tank. He can be a very strong carry, obviously, if he gets fed. If you've kind of watched one of my rank analysis one, I think it's number 1 or number 2. I can't remember. One of them. One of the 2 that I've put up is actually going to be he's quite strong if you manage to tank him up and everything like that. So they've got some good tanks. Obviously, Neef's got a global presence, and Hebo is a very good late game carry. Obviously that burst damage. Now Isis was taking a little bit of damage there, obviously, in the mid lane. Neef couldn't get the snare off, so it was just easy movement. Or she got the snare off, and then Isis popped her 1 just to keep moving. So that just kind of negates the snares, I think. Just clearing the wave, keeping the wave cleared. The right hand side we've got now this is a very deadly lane. You've got an on her Ymir. Obviously if he managed to put a wall up as well, that would have been double stun, and Hebo would have been in a severe amount of trouble. So Hebo's in a lot of trouble this lane if he puts himself out of position. So if he gets stunned by Ymir, then Ymir puts a wall up behind him. Obviously the Impale from Honor is going to come out and push him up against that wall, and yeah, it's just so much damage, especially when Desert Fury comes out as well. They are ahead in levels. So Reason Gaming are ahead in levels at the minute. That's purely because they finished the creep wave first. So now they're rotating over to get Humbats. Stop him getting that movement speed buff. Perfect counter jungle in there. There was, I believe it was wards, or they just kind of seen it. Bacchus has rotated in. Fenrir's over there getting Hebo in the back. Managed to pick off Hebo. Actually on her managed to get that. Humbat's just kind of messing around. I think they managed to get the movement speed buff. Yes, they stole it away from him. And during the whole point, a Girdler Might was popped. So Girdler Might doesn't pop that much this time, but that was very good map awareness there by Reason Gaming. Obviously, you want to stop the jungler from getting any crucial buffs. There's no wards there, so obviously Isis must have seen him running across the middle. That's probably the only explanation for that to come out. Now Hebo's died during that engagement, so now Hebo's really behind. Well, yeah, really behind. He's behind the whole level, which is going to be quite dangerous for him. Pretty soon. As soon as obviously Soppy Man gets his 5 there, all he has to do is get a good impale onto Hebo before he gets his ultimate as well, and then just get Desert Fury out. That will just annihilate him within a few, just annihilate him. It's just so strong early game. So this just kind of look at build wise. The enemy Hebo has just gone level 1 boots, Vampiric Shroud, obviously for Armata. That's the one. Blink stun. Oh, I managed to get perfect knock up there. Gonna get the stun, Impale, Desert Fury, and there we go. Said it was coming, and Hebo just needed to be careful. Obviously, I didn't spot the blink Ymir, so he's gone for like level 2 boots. I still want to call them celerity boots just because they're white. But yeah, until they're level 3, we don't actually know which way he's going. He's probably going for Midas boots just to get that extra gold up. Especially for being a duo lane tank, you struggle a little bit for gold. Or you just struggle a little bit for everything, really. Hebo, obviously, now desperately falling behind. Hasn't actually been able to buy anything. Has picked up Aegis Amulet. I would have probably just preferred him to pick that up on his first back, because you knew it was going to happen. You absolutely knew it. But now he's got here. Fenrir's got the spot onto Humbats. Humbats managed to leap out of the way, and there's no more. We remember the day when Fenrir and these brutalized would follow you when you leap. There's no more like that. So he manages to get away with that one quite nicely. He decides to back off and just buy some items, I think. Is he finishing off his boots now? Not quite. Managed to get level 2 Tabby. Picked up a couple of potions while he was at it. And this whole left lane is no man's land. Nobody here. Nobody decides to do it. Isis in the middle, just going to have a little tussle with Guan Yu. She's going to probably... The funny thing with Isis, she'll just throw out the annoying stun. Now, this Isis here, Tokati... yeah, Tokati, I think. I think it's Tokati. I am so bad with names. Tokati, obviously, just trying to get the clear there. Barkus got caught beautifully there inside the Ymir ultimate before he could leap out over the wall. So obviously you can leap out over the wall there, would have avoided so much damage from the Ymir ult. But just before he could leap out, we saw Fenrir manage to get the Ragnarok off and hold him in place, and then we just saw loads of damage. Now Hebo getting caught by the stun from Isis, used his ultimate to get out of there. I think he missed. By the looks of it, he missed the ultimate onto Isis, so it didn't actually cause any extra damage, it was just pure escape. Now, Neef's in a little bit of trouble there, obviously getting pinned in by the wall, and Desert Fury coming out. Missing most of the Desert Fury, I think. He only got about 2 hits off. I can't remember the total, I think it's about 6. Does a lot of damage, though. So, obviously, you could get a blink stun coming in there, but there's not. Ymir's still quite low level. At level 6, you really don't want to be, like, trying to tank the tower too long. Barkus is rotating over, so they've pretty much switched. Neef's coming over, Ymir gets snared, and the ultimate coming out there from Neef, as well as the intoxication from Barkus. Honor managed to get out. So the best time to kill Ymir is obviously in the laning phase, because his scaling hasn't come out, and during that time we missed a little kill in middle. So yeah, as I was saying, they've rotated over, they've swapped the Neef over and brought out Hebo into middle to kind of give him a bit more success, but obviously he's up against there's 3 level difference. So as I was saying about Ymir, he just kind of bit of a problem. So there's a silent stun 1. They're just doing so much damage actually, isn't it? So yeah, Ymir's passive defense scaling hasn't really kicked into the full extent yet. So if you can get him before probably about level 10, there we go. So another stun 1, doesn't manage to get the knock up, and just gets taken down, just purely because of his level difference. He was taking so much damage. Also, Isis hasn't finished boots, so she doesn't have any penetration. And Hebo, so they're at the same kind of item levels, so the whole kind of fight really was just purely levels. You still take a lot of damage, obviously. If you're higher level, you take less damage from the opponent, you cause more damage. It's just like a bit of a snowball effect. And we all kind of know, like, one level, okay, 2 levels, nah. But when there's 3 levels, you just kind of want to stay away. You're going to get blown up pretty often. Not really seen any kind of major global ultimate play coming out there from the Neef. Obviously, we saw it come out there onto the Ymir. It was more just like oh, I need to secure that kill before he gets away. Also, as a snare bot, we always the Neef ultimate, the World Weaver, does snare as well. So well, it's the stun in it. So it's just bought. I call Neef a snare bot. It's pretty much what she is. She's not really a late game carry. She can do damage, but she's more utility based. Isis there messing around with Hebo in the mid. I think they were just looking at the gold camp. Obviously, Hebo wants as much XP as he can, but he's not going to get it. So on the right hand side, I did miss it. Look at that. Every time I look away, action this station. So we'll just speed that up a little bit, kind of catch him up on her rotating around, getting the cooldown buff as well with the Fenrir. So they managed to pick that one up. Rotate back over. Stun going out onto Barkus, pinned into a Ragnarok. That was kind of beautiful. Ultimate from Ymir coming out. Intoxication did come out from Barkus, but it's that ultimate combo. Obviously, on her managed to save his one, so he didn't use the Desert Fury and didn't waste it. But Ragnarok, well, Ymir ult into Ragnarok just to kind of hold them in place. They really need to get beads just to kind of avoid that and get out. It's pretty strong. Obviously, we've got Humbats there having a little look. Does he decide he wants to leap over? Could possibly leap over, but he'd be a dead man if he decided to do it. Blink already used, and now he decides to get out of there. Meanwhile, the whole of Reason Gaming rotating left into mid lane. Hebo in a big situation there. Desert Fury going through the wall, and the two stun from Isis manages to pick up that kill. So, obviously, with that shadowy little thing, as we can see, Humbats there on her managed to pick up a lovely position to throw his Desert Fury through the wall, as his ultimate can go through anything because he's a strong motherfucker. Reason Gaming, seeing as they're ahead now, they're quite a bit ahead actually. Then they're going to go for the Gold Fury, kind of push the fight on this. They are going to get spotted by Armata. Armata's Guan Yu's coming over. Use his ult to prevent the stun. Use the ult on top, and I do believe it went to the red team. I'm going to bring that back, just because I'm not sure. I didn't get any kind of pop-up message. But who got it? Who got it? Who got it? Slow it down. Guan Yu goes in. Yeah, Armata managed to get the steal. So there's Humbat's ultimate pushing Fenrir into the wall. Overhand smash. Stun from Ymir. And the chuck up, the fling by Sobek picking off the Guan Yu. So they managed to get a good steal. Obviously a 1-for-1 trade there as well in kills. I believe it was 1-for-1. Yeah, it was 1-for-1. Humbat's trying to get his damage buff, but they're not too sure if anybody's rotating over. Now we've got some action going on in middle lane. Hebo and Neef versus Isis on her. Hebo just trying to get to that late game damage, because if you let the game go on too long, Hebo can pretty much just wipe your whole team. He's got so much damage there. He needs to kind of be careful. Everyone picking up their buffs. Well, just trying to get the damage buff onto the Humbat. Obviously healing him up as well. Some good ward coverage. Well, it's more like weaves than anything else. As we still don't see the red team's wards on the client at the moment. They're still not fixed that. I do believe that'll be in possibly a next patch, next week's patch fix. Let's get a bit more Hebo Isis action. She's still 3 levels ahead. That's kind of his major problem. Sobek messing around. Haha, Sobek just... Oh, Percy here trying to stop. He did get the steal on the blue, trying to prevent as much buff presence, obviously. Gold, XP. Don't want to give a buff to a carry, as well, blue buff to a carry. And just everything. So it's working out kind of really well for Reason Gaming. Just kind of counter jungling as much as possible. Obviously trying to just negate. And then that's just a killer. When a gold camp kind of resets on you, it's just like... Really? So missed a little bit going on the left lane. We're going to go over there and see the kind of Guan Yu getting taken down. So what's going on? What's going on? Oh, slow it down. Because, okay, so Guan Yu has seen the fact that we're going for the cooldown reduction. Ymir walls him off. So Guan Yu goes in, steals the buff. So he's just there. A Ragnarok comes out. Ymir ults, was the Ragnarok Ymir combination. Guan Yu using his ultimate to actually try and get out of it, but he's just kind of keeping the mobility going. Brutalize onto him as well. Dashes forward. Obviously, the Humbats has been going after on her this whole time. Popped his ultimate. And then while he's under the tower, that freeze just getting the last hit off onto Guan Yu from all that damage from Fenrir. Fenrir was taking kind of the brunt of the tower damage there, so he needed to back out. But during that whole engagement, you obviously had the Humbats under the tower fighting on her. So they kind of like had 2 team fights like right next to each other. Still a bit more action going on. On her did manage to get out of that one. I wasn't too sure if he was actually going to get out. So we got, here we go, Ymir coming around on Hebo, 2 stun, bat, and spikes. I can't remember the actual name for the 2 stun, but perfectly comboed, obviously, with a blink. Ymir can come from anywhere, especially from the jungle. Just blink straight into lane, and you're in a lot of trouble. Didn't have any wards on that side. Fair enough, if it was the right-hand side, he'd have been a bit covered. Obviously, there's Armata wards on the right, but it's Reason Gaming wards on the left. And then they can see the Humbats there throwing. Isis throwing out a lovely stun into the jungle. Didn't actually manage to connect though. And a freeze from Ymir. Managed to get both with Spike. Slows them down. And the one from Isis there focusing onto the Humbats. Getting him down quite low. Obviously that stun just blows him up. There we go. I was about to say he only needs like a 2 stun just to finish him off. And yeah, that 2 stun does so much damage. Especially to like little melee carries, obviously, with their low health. Now, Neve on the left-hand side I guarantee will lose this tower in the next wave. Yeah, definitely lose the tower in the next wave. Just because, obviously, Honor can auto-attack the tower just enough. He only needs to get a few more hits. What was it? 2 hits? 3 hits there. Managed to finish that one off. In the whole meantime that was going on, middle tower did get taken down. Obviously, the middle tower has about as much health as the left-hand lane tower. As well as Hebo stuck out of position again, gets caught by another 2 and a silence. Just spin, axes, everything was thrown at him apart from ultimates. No need to waste it on Hebo at the moment. He's quite squishy. On her managing to get the pin up on Guan Yu. Desert Fury as well, but Guan Yu manages to dash out of the way of that. I really wish they bring back scroll movement. I could just move my speed up. I hate using the shift. But that's just my problems. Don't worry about that. Let's kind of carry on with the match. Okay, so gold-wise, we're Reason Gaming about 9k ahead. Okay, so that's quite considerable, especially at the 13-minute mark. We've got Fenrir going for, obviously, Void Blade as his 3rd item before before the Heartseeker. He'd possibly get the Heartseeker next. But he's doing more of an assist job at the minute. Obviously, he's not getting them kills off that he really wants. And then goes out and just basically gets everything. More counter jungling going off there. Obviously, Fenrir has picked up Armata's movement speed buff. Just trying to keep, as I say, keep all these buffs away from everybody. But Ymir kind of getting back. Just missing, obviously, Goy. So right hand side, they're going after on her. Obviously on her seen that with the little ward up there by the movement speed, not movement speed buff, by the blue buff. So we've seen everybody rotating over there, just trying to get him out. So they've got good wards where they need to. Does he have any wards on him now? He has 2, so probably put one, maybe put one down by the fire giant at some point. But it is only a 13-minute game. Everybody's still quite low level. Nobody's going to actually be killing the fire giant yet. I generally don't. You don't see many fire giants below level like 15, 16. I loved that last hit kind of still there by Isis. And Reason Gaming going for another Gold Fury. This hopefully time it won't be stolen by Armata. But then again, Guan Yu's ultimate does work out really well. And the Isis ult down just to kind of stack up as much as he can. Trying to stun that Guan Yu. Obviously don't want to let him go in. Using his ult on top and pop. So Reason Gaming managed to grab that one. Also a lovely pin up against Humbats. Humbats didn't run very well. Well, jump very well. He jumped straight down pretty much where he was standing. And then Fenrir's brutalized coming out there after a Desert Fury. There we go. So Hebo went down to a Sobek ultimate. Obviously going down there. You can hear the crocs go up, bite, and then all of a sudden Hebo's dead. So we're all in that AoE action. He didn't do kind of that well. I don't believe he actually is putting out much damage. Obviously, he's kind of low, underfed. He's died 7 times this game. He's got no penetration. Could probably do with... I'd probably like to see more of Obsidian Shard on him. I think it's Obsidian Shard. No, Void Stone. Void Stone. No, it was Obsidian Shard. There. Void Stone on it because, obviously, fair enough, Hebo's passive boosts his damage for, like, every attack. Every 10%... every attack he does, or ability does, he gets a 10% magical power benefit, okay? But you don't want to need to actually connect 3 hits before you get the full benefit from, obviously, the penetration. So Obsidian Shard works better for Hebo, and Spear of the Magnus, not so much. I don't even think it's that much cheaper either. But it's just kind of the way you got to look at stuff. You do a lot more damage with single hits. Fair enough, you can throw them out quickly. Ultimate coming out there. Most likely going to be you just to sprint there from Neef just to avoid that. Could have actually used that to clear the creep wave instead of trying to chase the Neef. But decides not to, seeing as they're ahead. Ragnarok comes out there. Obviously beads out, creeping curse. And then Brutalize manages to finish it off Neef at the same time. So we're going to get this right tower go down as well. Maybe have some Ebo action coming around. Lovely 2 from Isis there, but Barkus managed to jump out of that before the connection actually went off. We've got on her now moving on to Deathbringer. So he's avoided going for the lifesteal yet, just obviously gone Executioner. Well, Ninja Tabby, still unsure whether I like Ninja Tabby. I personally never build Ninja Tabby on any character, but then again, there's a few that might work it out really well. So he's gone for Ninja Tabby, Executioner, and then Deathbringer. Okay, so he's avoided that kind of lifesteal. Doesn't really need it in the minute. Obviously, he's kind of ahead. This level 16 versus probably the highest level 13 on the other team. So lovely stun coming out there from Isis. Obviously, to kind of stop Barkus. Beautiful pin. Kind of missed the wall and the Obsidian Shard. But then Desert Fury kind of comes out there. But Isis did manage to finish that kill. Guan Yu's ultimate coming out to just knock on Honor's head. And just beat him down with that broomstick. Another stun from Isis. You see, Isis is just so much of a problem. That stun is so strong if you can use it. Hebo just going to get knocked up with the Ymir ultimate going to waste, pretty much. Now, kind of, Hebo's just getting caught out on the wrong side of the team fights. I feel he kind of like aims to go past them, and then it just kind of happens that way where Reason Gaming seem to get between Hebo and his base. So, little bit of action going on the right hand side. Neef taking a Brutalize. Obviously we're going to get a Ymir coming over. Does he need to use the blink? Doesn't even need to bother using the blink. There's the stun. And nobody was really using abilities there. Obviously Neef knew she was dead. And just kind of stayed there and not worried. So we got some more action going on over by the red buff. Obviously they know it's popped, so they're going to grab it. So there's a good fling up 2 tanks versus Humbats. And now I'm colliding against the wall. Humbats drops his ultimate down and gets out of there. It's pretty much a drop and run at the moment now. It's, can you farm up? Can you farm up and can you avoid fights? Because at the minute they're getting torn apart. They need to just kind of get as much farm as possible, much this, that, and everything else. So we see a Neef go in there for a really early rage. Okay, I'm not sure on the rage early on. Obviously, it gives you attack speed, but I kind of feel DPS-wise, stats-wise, that you'd benefit more from obviously an Executioner, and then, or even Devourer's Gloves or something like that. They're kind of fair enough. You get the attack speed and the crit chance, and also some physical power there. So you get some extra damage, but you'd probably benefit a lot more from actually being able to get past most of people's armor. Fair enough, you've got obviously Ymir, Sobek have both got their armor up. Voidstone on Fenrir, so you do more damage to Fenrir. And then a lovely Fire Giant taken. No contestation there from Armata. They really couldn't do anything. Lovely stun onto Barkus. Barkus just got blown up, but he still managed to get the intoxication out, so kind of everybody's chasing around. Brutalize off onto Hebo. Managed to... Look, this Isis is getting every kill. It's like proper kill stealing action going on, because you could kind of see like Fenrir had that kill easy. But in this meantime, we've got some Gold Fury attempt going off. Obviously, Reason Gaming aren't going to see this happening, and Guan Yu does decide to back off. I don't believe Humbats is not going to be able to solo that on his own. Obviously, they've decided to get back because, obviously, with the Fire Giant buff, they could just push the finish. But Guan Yu's not going to be able to do too much to fend this off. Obviously, you've got a 5-man team up against your Phoenix, and you're one guy. Okay, you've got a stun, throw. Well, there's actually about 3 stuns on that team. And so much damage to come out. Here we go. He goes in for Talu Assault. Manages to dash through the Sobek. He's obviously focusing down the Sobek and the Ymir. Uses his ultimate as well on top. Manages to get out nicely though. Sobek ult coming out there. Obviously a slow there from on her with his I don't know, his shard. I like to call it his shard. Okay, but he used the pin and pushed him past the Sobek ultimate, so they couldn't do too much. Maybe we could see a ward going down for a quick teleport back. No, yep, Reason Gaming ward right there. So obviously they can restock up. Maybe we'll see some teleport wards out. Yep, see some 4 teleport wards. Where are they popping out? They've actually popped out over here in the lane, which is kind of better for them. Obviously get the Cutlass double stun off on the Barkus and the Hebo, and then just 2 or 3 ultimates went kind of come out there. Obviously Humbatch dropped his ult to try and stop Fenrir's chase, but Ragnarok not actually managing to catch up. Obviously you get the extra movement speed from the Ragnarok, but it's just been a bit of a cakewalk this game, kind of. Yeah, well, yeah buddy, it's a bit just kind of it was just an outplayed game. So I hope you guys have actually watched liked the game and stuff like that was going on. Obviously it was a bit one-sided. I don't kind of veto the matches before I cast them. We just kind of, I pick a random selection of like team names and then see how they go. So let's see if the next ones actually be a bit more even. So yeah, I hope you guys like this. Like, subscribe, and leave comments. Obviously leave comments, leave me feedback if you'd like to see any changes to kind of the setup, or you can think of improvements, let me know. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow.